Hello my loves, welcome to another video. So I'm actually doing my nails today, I know. I did my right hand on TikTok live. Using my non-dominant hand to do an ombre after months of not doing that is really difficult. I've filed down the gel polish that was on this. My nails have really grown out. Excuse my hands, they are damaged. It's cats, don't worry. My cat decided to try and jump in a cupboard when I was making a cup of coffee. And I'm going to start prepping my nails. I'm using the Elit cuticle pusher tool. You've got the wider end, which is great for thumbs and toes. And if you've got tiny fingers like me, then you've got the more narrow end. I'm just going to gently nudge those cuticles back, give myself a little bit more square footage to work on. These tools are super gentle. They're it's that balance where they're sharp enough to do the job, but they're not going to hurt you. And I think it's really important that you don't cut the crap out of yourself when you're trying to prep your nails, you know. In with our scraping tool, and this releases that stubborn stickiness. Now, I have got excess product on the nails further up, so if there's a problem with that, then it will kind of come up against it and potentially lift that off as well. But as you can see, this is all just non-living tissue that's grown out as the nail's regrown, and it's super sticky. And I don't know why my non-living tissue is sticky, like so sticky. Before I had my prep game down, I used to get lifting all the time, and it was this stuff. It was just this tissue that just grows out, and it's so fine on the nail plate. But if you don't get rid of it, you're going to get lifting. And you have to get rid of it the right way, because you don't want everything growing back thicker and nastier. So you just got to be careful. But look at all that. It's gross, to be fair. But thank goodness I've got a tool that gets rid of it. It gathers, doesn't it? Just gathers. You're either going to find it really satisfying to watch, or you might want to be sick. So that's all that gone. I'm going to use an e-file now. I'm going to use my Melodysusie e-file, which I have a discount code for, so I'll pop it in the description box. And I also have a discount code for the tools because they're mine. So I'm just going to start filing back that non-living tissue. So the cuticle pusher pushed back my cuticle area to reveal where all that non-living tissue was. My scraping tool has now kind of released that from the nail plate, and now the e-file's coming in and dusting as much of it as possible away, and in turn it also pushes that tissue back. So it's not pushing it down onto the nail, it's pushing it back away from the nail. That's why you'll see dust coming out over the edges. This is really handy, because this allows me to get right up in there and kind of buff that tissue off the nail plate, whilst also, like I said, these excess flappy bits, it pushes them back. Now the ball bit's really good. Quite often you can remove the majority of the non-living tissue that's left with the ball bit, and then if you've got any stragglers, as I call them, they're kind of hanging on and they don't want to come off, you can just nip them away. But then you know what you're nipping. You're not just nipping stuff for the sake of it, because that will cause regrowth to be even thicker. And also there is a seal there that you need to protect, because that prevents you from infections. So if you remove that seal, it's like taking a cork out of a bottle of wine. It's then exposed to the elements and you can't fix that, and there's potential for infection. So you just got to kind of be careful. And some people don't get any excess non-living tissue. Their cuticles are small and they just push back and they're done. And other people get loads. I had a client once that literally had flaps, and they were really thin and flappy, like, I don't know, like literally, like I've never seen anything like it. And they had to go. So I'm using our nippers to get these tiny bits. Now, the reason I love these nippers is because the blade is small. I've had so many pairs of nippers where the blade is too big, and I just feel like you can't safely work with it. I can't safely work with it. I have small hands. I prefer a small blade because I can tuck it up under there and just get those little bits without having to cut half a bloody inch off, you know? Anyway, once that's done, I have just trimmed the edges of my nails because they've grown out a lot. So the free edge is gone, and I'm just gently buffing the surface of my nail with a 180 grit file. I used this 180 grit file on my other nails, so it's not new and sharp. It's gentle. Here we are all prepped. Lovely jubbly. Got to get some tips. I'm using the TX Elite coffin tips. They come in bags of 600 for less than £10. I'm also using the Alina Bling Bond. And I've sized my tips up. My hands are small, so I am an 11 on my pinky, which is the smallest, and my thumb is a 5. So, I mean, when I worked in the salon, I had customers whose middle finger was a 5. So I know I've got small hands, which I think is why I turned towards the smaller blade when I had the cuticle tools created, because I as a small nailed person understand like how awkward it is to work with bulky tools. You can use a smaller tool on a bigger hand, but try using a bigger tool on a smaller hand and it's just annoying. Anyway, I've cut these tips down because I don't want them super long. I want them manageable so I can wear them and feel beautiful. And I'm just using a tiny bit of acetone just to blend that contact line. Going in with some clear acrylic just to lay down my foundation, and then what I will do afterwards is give the tips a little file just to tighten up the position and the shape, not the position. I know, just don't judge me, alright, I'm tired. The shape of the tips, bring those side walls in a little bit, make sure they don't look too wide. They are a nice C-curved tip. They're not a flat coffin. They're more tapered square, I would say, but there we are. Just the thin clear base. I don't want an awful lot because most of the nail's going to be nude anyway at the top, but it helps to secure the tip before I file it, because I always get worried about filing a tip. I think, oh God, am I going to move it? So I find it easier just to put my clear base down first and then just give it a little file if it needs it. We might not need it. There we go. Pop that on there. I've had a few messages about the tools, just asking if they are available individually, and they are, so you don't have to buy them as a set. You can do, but you can also buy them individually, and you can get them using ClearPay, Lay-By and Klarna. So if you don't want to pay all in one go, that's a great option as well. Okay, so as you can see, I'm literally just using my 180 grit file just to bring in those sidewalls, just to tidy them up a little bit, because the tips, although they're the right size, they're just slightly on the big size for me, on the big side, but the next size down would have been too small. So you're better off going a little bit bigger. Right, I'm using Bunny Boiler from Nailmate as my bright pink. Confession on these nails, I hate the ombre on them. I just feel like the pink Bunny Boiler is so pigmented, and when I go over with the nude colour, which is, I think it's like Perfect Pink or something, it's not strong enough. I should have used Toasted Rose, but I haven't got any. I know I've got another jar somewhere and I can't find it anywhere, and it's really annoying me, because this ombre would have been so much better with Toasted Rose, and I'm sad. But what I'm doing here is I'm just applying the coloured acrylic to the end of the nail. So this is a design powder, not a strength powder. It's so pigmented. You won't get strength out of product if there's a high ratio of pigment to acrylic, because there's more pigment present. Do you see what I mean? The acrylic is the strength, the pigment is the colour. But if you take away one element and add more of another element, it's not strong. So that's why you need to cap them. Sorry about the view of my hand. That was a kitten that did that. Crazy little monkeys. This is going to be a full nail of bunny boiler. So I'm just going to, as you can see, just paint it on because it's so incredibly pigmented. You've got to watch your brush when you're doing this because of the pigment, so you need to keep your brush really, really clean because of your monomer. It will get contaminated and then that will mess it all up. I'll show you another little trick which I did. I kind of figured it out. I was on my TikTok doing the live, and because I haven't done my nails for so long with my non-dominant hand, I really struggled, but I figured out a couple of things along the way, which is good. Again, I'll do the same on this nail and the pinky, so I'll let you watch that. So, some of you might already do this, but with extremely pigmented colours, I'm going to cap with a really thin layer because if I get my brush on that pink, it will just come off onto the brush straight away. Even if it's set and it's dry, if I brush over it, the pigment will release because it's so pigmented. So just a thin layer of clear just to stop it bleeding out, because the minute you try an ombre, it will bleed onto the ombre. Like, you'll be stroking with your brush and you'll pick up pigment as your brush goes down the nail, and then you'll put your brush back on the nude, boom, it's contaminated. That's what happened to me when I did it with my non-dominant hand, and I realised it's just because this particular acrylic colour has so much pigment in it that the acrylic isn't holding, if you see what I mean. So the minute it gets wet with monomer, that pigment just releases. I'm going to encapsulate this nail completely to build up my strength. So now I'm going to go in with Perfect Pink. I'm sure it's Perfect Pink. And as you can see, this is a very light colour. It's too light for my skin tone. And I just feel like it didn't ombre as well as Toasted Rose would have, because the pink is so, like, the bunny boiler is so incredibly pink. I don't know, it could be me being overly critical, but I feel like, not critical of the product, just of my choices. I feel that Toasted Rose would ombre a lot better over this because it's got a deeper tone to it. I love Toasted Rose. I need to get some more. So yeah, I'm just ombreing. I'm building up my apex as well at the same time, then I don't need to cap it. I'll only cap the blend area. But I have a little hack if your ombre doesn't go very well anyway. I'll show you towards the end. I'm adding a little bead here because I feel like it just needed, I needed a wishy-washy blend going down a bit more. And that kind of helped it, but it still wasn't perfect. So I'm definitely not living for this combo. But the nails at the end are so cute. I'm happy, I'm fine. Can you imagine though doing all that work? Because this took me all day. Because my neck is so bad, so I keep having to have breaks. And also my right hand is really bad, so I'm like having to have breaks. It took me all day. If I have not liked them, I would have just been so disappointed. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, tucking in my cuticle bead. Tuck it in. Tip of the brush to tuck. Middle of the brush to move. There you go. That's my little rule that I teach on my courses. Actually, just to let you know, the discount code I put in the description box, that works on courses as well. And courses are covered by ClearPay and Lay-By and all that. So yeah, you can get on our latest crystal course. That will be live. So it's live on the website. The latest crystal placement course is on the website now to purchase, and the course is taking place online, live with me, this coming Thursday, which will be, I don't know the date. What date is it today? 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. I think it's the 19th. I'm going to go and check. Hang on. Yeah, this Thursday, the 19th of, what month am I in? May 2022. I'm holding the workshop, the course live, but obviously for those who join later, it will be recorded in the group, the private group, so you'll be able to access it there as well. Okie dokie. So I'm just going down because I tend to turn my hand one way and always leave a little gap at the side. So I know my own bad habits, but it's really hard doing your own nails, isn't it? Because you just don't twist and turn the same way, I find. So I'm just touching up here and there. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to cap those blend lines. Blend it back a little bit because you don't want like a heavy line. But if you've built your apex, you don't need to blend, you don't need to cap the nude right at the cuticle area. Just need to cap. And also another tip here is you've got to really avoid frosting. So get the tip wet first. So brush it through with monomer and then encapsulate, just to avoid that frosting, because you're working with such an intense colour that it can happen quite easily. Right, so I filed off camera because I can't get in the position to file on camera. So here you go, we're all filed, lovely jubbly. And now we're going to bring out the bling. I'm using the AB 1400 mix pack. And also, oh, I want to show you this. Right, On the website, we have the crystal storage boxes, and they don't show it with the branding, Alina, Life is Better with Bling. But you can have this at no extra cost if you would like it. You can have it in gold or black, or if you would like it personalised, just pop a note when you order, pop a little comment in the notes section, and then I'll know what you want, and we'll do it for you. Not a problem. Obviously, it doesn't come full of bling. That's for you to fill up with all your beautiful collections. But yeah, we're happy to do that for you. So yes, going in from the AB 1400 mix pack, this is like your staple product. You have to have one. Who are you if you don't? Because the most common colour used is AB, especially with if clients are choosing, because they get, oh dear, I don't know about that colour. Oh, I'm not sure if I want coloured crystals, because I used to be the same. Before I worked with Swarovski, I was afraid of everything that wasn't AB. In fact, I was afraid of everything that wasn't a round flat back, to be fair. So through working with them and training with them and just developing my skills, I became like a complete magpie for anything sparkly, no matter what colour, what shape. But you have to just take the plunge. Just take the plunge. Do it. You won't regret it. Right, so I've done a couple of little cuffs, but now we're going to do a little cluster and a bling design on the middle finger. So I'm using Madamglam's Builder in a Bottle. I'm just going to take a blob of it on the end of a dotting tool and then make a little cone. It won't stand too proud because it's a very thin viscosity, but it's enough to hold 3 of the pointy back ABs in place. These are either SS10 or SS12, I'm not sure, because they were part of a mix, so I can't remember. But I'm loving our pointy backs. They're super, super sparkly. Okay, that's going to go and get cured in the lamp quickly. Then I'm going to go back to Bling Bond to lay the flat back shapes. As you can see, I do dots and dabs because if you overfill it, then it takes longer to set. You only need a few dots and dabs. And if your glue is starting to take longer to set, or you're noticing you've had it a while, you use it every day or whatever, it's been open a few months, then you need to replace it, because the Bling Bond is super strong and quick setting. So if you start to notice changes, it will be because it's getting old, basically. It's getting a bit old. Where they're solvent based, every time they're exposed to the atmosphere, they age almost, they degrade, which is the same with all adhesives. It's just the way it goes. Okay, well, solvent based adhesives anyway. I'm going to add a couple of tiny navettes. These things are like amazing. I go through so many of those with designs because they're like the mega gap fillers of the nail world. You got a gap, stick a little navette in there, or a raindrop. Always wins. I've missed having nails, I tell you. I really, really have. But I tend to not get the time. But I was like, do you know what? No, I want to do my nails. I want nice nails, so I'm going to do it. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to use some caviar beads. I hate them, but they look lovely. So what can you do? And I'm just going to dab a little bit of builder gel in between the crystals and then apply the caviar beads. It's very simple. I won't show you everything because you'll be bored, but I'll give you a general idea of how I did what I did. So I did one side, then cured it, then did the other side, and it was the same. I'm going to use this top coat from Madamglam. It's called Funfetti. There's two reasons for that. One, it's beautiful, and two, I don't like the ombre on these nails. I just don't like the colour combo. I don't like the ombre. I don't like the blend. So this is really great for hiding any imperfections, and you don't need to go over it, so it will just set, it will cure and be smooth. But you've got these beautiful opalescent pieces in there which just looks so gorgeous. There you go, look at that, beautiful, done. And I'll do that on the other nails as well, apart from the middle one, which will just have no white top coat on it to sit behind those crystals nicely. You've got to go around as well with a detailer brush just to make sure those crystals are not covered in top coat. Just go around the base of them, and it acts as a seal. You'll learn a lot more about stuff like that on the crystal course, as well as kind of planning a design and how to think out a design, how to place things. Oh, a little bit down the side. I would cure one finger at a time when you're doing top coat around crystals and stuff, because you have to slow down your application. So on this middle nail, I would not top coat from the cuticle down. I top coat kind of from the middle of the nail and then do the cuticle, because otherwise it will flood. And we'll use a detailer brush where we need to as well. Okie dokie, so see me even it out there. Once these are all done, they'll be cured, and well, the ones that need curing will be cured for 30 seconds. I'm just removing excess because, you know, it's a heavy top coat. And then I applied Madamglam's Elixir cuticle oil, and there we go. There's the finished lot. I'm feeling myself, I've got to say. If you haven't seen my TikTok about it, I'm feeling myself. I really hope you like them. If you want to check out the products used, I'll put them in the description box below with discount codes if I've got them. And that's it. I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye.